And still on matters touching on the pause, we now cross over to the industrial area right here in the capital Nairobi, where Iebc is currently touring the national warehouse for the 2022 election. And I can see Commissioner Mandera talking there. Let's first of all listen in.
Ballot papers are the constituencies. We have distributed 368 ballots of senator ballot papers. The women rep, we have distributed 410. Member of Parliament, 439 ballots. County Assembly member, 472. The total number of ballots distributed so far is 2,053. And these cover 35 counties and 216 constituencies. I'll just mention where those materials have gone to in the county, in terms of counties. Mombasa, we have sent to Shangamwe, Jomvu, Kisauni, Nyali, Likoni, and Muvita. Kwale, Msabweni, Lungalunga, Matuga, Kinango. I think this is a long list, so I was just going to read the counties. We have sent some to Kilifi, Tana River, Lamu, Taita Taveta, Garissa, Wajir, Mandela, Marsabit, Isiolo, Meru, Tharaka Nithi, Embu, Kitui, Kiambu, Turkana, West Pokot, Samburu, Trans Nzoia, Uasin Gishu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Nandi, Machakos, then we have Nyandarua, then we have Kirinyaga, yes, Vihiga, Bungoma, then we have Busia, Siaya, Baringo, Laikipia, Nakuru, Narok, Kajiado, Kericho, Kisumu, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisii. Those are the areas where some of the ballot materials have already been dispatched to. We still have, so far, we have distributed about 60% of the ballot papers that have been received here. And you are continuing to do this exercise. And our last day to make sure they get to the place is on 6th. By 6th, all the materials will have reached, all the ballot papers will have reached to their destination. I think so. I think that is the status of the distribution of ballot papers. And if there is any question, we'll entertain a few questions from you.
Okay. Commissioner, a ballot contains how many ballot papers so that we are able to know?
Okay, the normal size of a ballot will carry about 54 boxes. 54 boxes. However, depending on the number of the registered voters in a particular place, some ballots are smaller than others, but we consider them as ballots as well. Yeah. Yes?
My question is,
will Form 34A be pinned at the entrance of the polling station? And how will this be done?
Form?
34A.
Copy.
Yes, a copy.
A copy of the Form 34A. Yes, it will be pinned at the polling station. And we agreed with the political parties, because we are going to distribute, particularly in the areas where all the presidential candidates have an agent, we will not have an extra Form 34A. So Iebc will look for a way of getting a photocopy of the original, which they have taken, and pin it at the polling station. However, in areas where all the presidential candidates do not have agents, we shall have a copy of the carbonated copy to be pinned at the door of the polling station.
A follow-up. According to your reply to Azimio in today's publication, you said that the RO will take a photo of that form. So then after that, it means that that photo that has been taken must be printed. Have you supplied printers to those areas where this will be done?
I think we want to say that that's the responsibility of Iebc to look for how it is going to get a copy and pin it. And that is what we agreed with the political parties. Yes. And you shall be able to do that.
So as that process kicked off?
It is not going to kick off. It's going to kick off after we have counted. Form 34A is done after we have counted the votes, entered the form, candidates agency registered, our officials register, sign the form. Once that is done, that is the time that process will kick off.
That's the time you look for printers.
We have printers in every county and in every constituency. We have printers and photocopiers. Yes.
But my question is not, Nicholas Delay from CAS, my question is not related to the distribution of materials.
Yes?
Yesterday we saw the government, through the Ministry of Interior, deploy security officers to various parts of this country. And it was more specific and heavy on two counties, Nakuru and Western Gishu. The purpose of your press briefing every day is to at least to show the transparency. However, in the few days that have gone, we've seen how politicians have conducted themselves, specifically the presidential candidates. Tension has been rising, including the leaflets, threat leaflets that have been left in Western Gishu. On that note, there are three concerns that generally maybe we journalists and even their stakeholders, the nation, might not have received a substantial response from your end. One, when the first batch of the ballot papers arrived, there was a concern that some commissioners were not aware. We put that question before you. And then again came the Venezuela thing. The commission exchanged letters of concern with the DCI. Eventually, the response that came from the commission was, we have just sorted that. But the Kenyans who read the letters were not availed with exact agreement or how that was solved, especially the parties that were arrested. Is Iebc, or does Iebc still confirm that these were their people, they were partners, and when the solution was reached, was it that these people were deported back or they remained in office as part of your partners? And the most recent concern is the clip that we brought to your attention, Madam Commissioner, from the Bomas, that of Junet Mohammed, and you said it is being investigated. To us, this could be so critical that it can be building a case for null and void after the process. How do you respond to these details as you help the nation do away with the tension?
Okay, let me respond to one, she will respond to the other. And maybe she can also respond to the other. First and foremost, we are not revisiting the issue of the DCI and the Commission. The matter is sorted, and you are working together towards the security and the transparency in delivering the election. That is okay. The issue of deployment of security in certain areas, that is to facilitate the election. And the IG himself confirmed that we are working together. It is the responsibility of the security arms of this government to monitor what is happening in any area of this country and they decide what level of security is required there. It is not the work of IEBC. So we will not be able to answer the details of that question. But we are supposed to deliver election in a free and secure manner. I think I would want Madam Vice Chair to respond to something which you have said.
Okay. For the clip that you talked about, I think it was on Monday. Yes, as a communication department of IEBC, we monitor what is being thrown in the social media and we classify them accordingly. So some of those clips needs to be investigated and that is it. So for now, I don't have more information about that clip for Junette, but indeed, as IEBC, we flag out everything that is being thrown on social media. And on Monday, I said something very important, that for us, IEBC, any communication that is coming from us is from us or from the chairman of IEBC, who is the spokesperson of the commission. Then we are also heavy on our social media pages. We are heavy on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So kindly, Kenyans, get information that is legit from IEBC pages and from us, the commissioners, or our chair. Thank you.
Yes, I want to add on the issue of security. Remember, we are partnering with other government institutions. One of them is the security team through the IG. IG is providing 2 police officers per polling station. And remember, we have 46,223 polling stations. So you say times 2. And then there are those escorting materials also. We have trained these officers and we request, and we cannot do this work alone. The officers we require are those who will be within the polling station and the marked area. But remember, the government also has to see security outside the marked area of the polling station. And that's the mandate of Inspector of Police. So where there are concerns anywhere in this country, that's their mandate and they are supposed to look at that. But that's a question which IEBC cannot answer. That will be answered by Commissioner of Police. On ballot papers, that some commissioners were not aware, everyone of us were aware about the arrival. That's why you saw some of us in the airport. You've seen some of us have gone to Venezuela. So we are aware, all of us, and we are working together as a team. Chris. And on the issue of Venezuela, that one we sorted out. Everything is with us. We've done our work. So, and we had a meeting with the IG, which you were present, and I think you were briefed accordingly. Thank you.
Yes. Another question? Yes.
Good afternoon. Manyora from Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. What is the value of the contract that you have proposed to deliver the election?